Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 136th episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it had, and what its place is on the grand scheme of hip-hop. So this is easily the most obvious and essential artist to build the Bay Area sound for hip-hop, and outside of maybe Mac Dre, he's definitely the most overdue on this channel as well. Mainly because, as important as his late 80s work was, I just felt there were other Golden Age classics that deserved an earlier spot. Keep in mind, of course, there's game-changing 1980s rap albums I would have discussed by now, I just haven't found them on vinyl yet at the time of making this video. But fortunately, in the meantime, I have no shortage of legendary LPs to share, and Too Short's iconic 1988 album is a perfect example. I think some more younger, casual listeners who just know Too Short for hits like Blow the Whistle may not realize just how long he's been a staple in not just Oakland, but the entire West Coast as a whole. Another reason a younger and more recent fan might not know just how extensive his career has been is probably due to how well he's aged, because he's one of those dudes who's looked pretty much exactly the same for a good 30 plus years. In fact, Too Short must hold some sort of record as the longest standing rap act period, because I have to admit, while I previously had given Cool Keith that title on multiple occasions, I'd totally forgotten just how early this guy came into the game. Mainly because on streaming services, it's easy to get the impression that Life is Too Short is his sophomore LP, since the only album earlier than that on Apple Music is Born to Mac, released the previous year in '87. But in reality, this was his fifth album, and I first remember being blown away from that fact when I discovered my favorite Too Short release outside of 1995's Cocktails, which is Getting It, or album number 10, which was released the following year. That was when I realized that there had to be more than just the selection I was seeing on streaming. But at the time, I was doubtful that he actually had 9 full studio albums under his belt before 1996 even rolled around. But I was mistaken, because while the information I can find gets progressively more scarce the further back in time you go, from what I can tell, it definitely does seem like Too Short debuted all the way back in 1983 with his first studio LP, Don't Stop Rappin'. To put into context how ridiculous that is, Run DMC wouldn't even release their self-titled debut until 1984, so saying that Oakland hadn't developed much of a rap scene is a bit of an understatement. This is someone who was clearly just born to do this, and must have been an early teenager, if even that, when he began grinding out these albums and mixtapes at a staggering rate, which he didn't stop doing even when he'd made more than enough fame and fortune to be able to just retire and relax. Similar to his contemporaries from the Bay like E40 or Spice One, Too Short continues to make dope music to this day, which indicates that they rap because they truly love it, and all their other profitable and lucrative endeavors take a back seat to hip hop. While he may have already been a local legend in his hometown and even the wider Bay Area in general, it was albums like Life is Too Short and its predecessor that really helped spread his name nationwide, while he was developing his youthful innocence into what would become his iconic, instantly recognizable style. This was also his major label debut, which gave him an opportunity to be introduced to the world in a way his previous LPs just didn't have the privilege of, which he definitely took advantage of, resulting in Life is Too Short being his most successful album to date, selling millions of copies and going double platinum. But arguably even more important was the floodgates he had begun to help open for Bay Area hip hop, allowing 90s rappers like Pac, The Coup, SIBO, or even Hieroglyphics, and many others to show how full of quality and diversity this one little section of the state had. The old school production is flavorful and full of energy, which pairs well with Too Short's more laid back and effortless flow. The way he raps kind of just sounds as if he's posted up at the mall, giving game to a girl and telling her the list of reasons that she should be with him over her current man, which kind of makes sense when you consider his documented history in pimping. I personally don't really think it matters too much that his music isn't insanely politically conscious or socially aware, The thing is, he knows his music is made for strip clubs and he's never pretended otherwise to my knowledge. I feel like if anything it's commendable how he's managed to stay culturally relevant while never abandoning or betraying his core fan base and style. I mean, he was even in that supergroup not long ago alongside E40, Ice Cube, and Snoop Dogg. Like a lot of the work from this earlier period in his career, there isn't exactly an abundance of information on the creation of this thing, but outside of Too Short himself, the production was handled by R. Austin, T. Bohannon, and Al Eaton. And there's actually a couple of guest appearances as well in the form of fellow Bay Area legends Rappin' for Tay and Danger Zone. For this one, I think my three favorite tracks overall would have to be Oakland, Don't Fight the Feelin', and City of Dope. For honorable mentions, I don't have too many songs to shout out due to the relatively brief runtime, but I would like to name tracks like Life Is Too Short, Cuss Words, I Ain't Trippin', Rhymes, and Nobody Does It Better. Thank you for watching my 136th video. Next time we're going to talk about the last of the few 1991 albums I chose for this set. So check in for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments off this California Game Changer are. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.